Hey Deckers, if you want to play Starfield at ultra settings with up to 60 frames per second on the Steam Deck without loads of mods, well, it is now possible, and not using Xbox Cloud Gaming either. Okay, this is streaming, you caught me. This is using GeForce NOW's Ultimate Tier, using the RTX 4080 on the Steam Deck, but as you can see, with the power wattage up at the top, it means you can play in perfect resolution at under 10 watts, meaning you're going to get a good 4 to 5 hours if you have decent internet. If you need a guide to how to get GeForce NOW installed, I'll put the link in the description below. It's very simple and means that you'll get access to all of the supported Steam games and also the Xbox PC Game Pass games now that have been added directly on your Steam Deck. And as you can see here, it was running at ultra settings with no render scaling at all. And this is only going to get better when DLSS 3 is added to Starfield. So GeForce NOW is just going to get better. Although it does still dip into the 50s and 60s in some areas with ultra settings. You could drop it down a little bit if you want, but it's more than good enough. You can see here I've put the modded version with the shadow mod, giving the best of both worlds of the optimized files and best frame rate, and now you can really see the difference between the local modded version and GeForce NOW. It's so much clearer, although there is a slight yellow tint to the GeForce NOW version I've found. You can see just how good that quality is, and it really is noticeable on the Steam Deck screen as well with no upscaling resolution. So as we look at the shaded mod version, bouncing between 25 and 30 frames per second as we run through to the Tau plant. You can see some of that pixelation, especially with the wind and rain effects as well, but it is still playable. If you do want to keep it local, that's perfectly fine. But when we look at the GeForce NOW version, just look how clean the character looks, especially, and the pack as well. No pixelation or issues as we come across the plant section, and things are just looking absolutely crystal clear on GeForce NOW. Well, you would hope so with the equivalent of the RTX 4080 in the cloud, streaming direct to you. As we look at the character model side by side, you do actually have to stand up and think that Starfield doesn't actually look too bad locally, considering. And don't forget to shrink this down to 720p if you are on a bigger screen, so that you get the better side by side comparison. But when things all go crazy with the Terramore, for example, it really is quite obvious just how much pixelation there was on the local version compared to when we look at the GeForce NOW version. Still holding a good 50 to 60 frames per second on GeForce NOW, but things are absolutely crystal clear even with all those effects popping off. Of course, this is a choice and there is an additional cost to running GeForce NOW on top of buying your own games, unless you're using a subscription service like Xbox Game Pass or Ubisoft Connect, for example. And the Ultimate Tier will set you back around £15 a month, unless you go for one of the bigger 6 monthly deals. Well, we're looking into though, as you can see, running through a killer city on GeForce NOW was absolutely spectacular. Of course, streaming is not for everybody, but if you do have decent internet, you'll be able to pick this up on any of your devices, including your TV if you want to run it at full 4K at ultra as well. Let us know in the comments below if you're going to be diving in on GeForce NOW or you're going to be keeping it local. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.